Hey, YouTube. So what do I think about the so-called impending European crisis that could potentially unravel at any moment? Um, there's various sources of news that say a lot of different things on the matter. CNBC on the 28th of August said that banks are preparing for an economic nuclear winter. And this was actually talking more for the European banks is what they were referring to. The Sun over there at the UK News said that Putin is building a super army and preparing for a large-scale war, maybe a world war. The Inquisitor.com on August the 26th, 2016, by Norman Bird, asked the question in his commentary, is Europe World War III prepping? And then, of course, on August the 6th, though, Newsweek had the little article titled, Europeans are quietly preparing for war with Russia. So is it a war with Russia? Is it an economic crisis coming? Is it a terrorist activity based on cyber attacks, physical terror attacks? Is it a medley of things? Is it going to be a nuclear attack? Is it going to be smart bombs, dirty bombs, whatever it is? No one really knows for sure. But there is a lot of tension from Russia and NATO. In particular, Germany and Lithuania are being the most, well, pretty much from what I can see, the most vocal about telling their citizens to prepare more. And Germany is going so far as to considering reintroducing, since they dropped it in 2011, conscription. Conscription is a type of training for young people that makes up a ready civilian defense force. And this civilian task force, defense force, was recorded in the BBC News to the 23rd of August of this year as being something that could be reintroduced. So they cite different things, like basically, Germany is kind of mostly citing hybrid attacks from cyber warfare, which could damage key infrastructure. They're also saying other things, but I think we need to be mindful, and those in Europe that watch my channel, and I thank you for watching my channel. I wish you all the very best. I do have distant relatives that live in Europe, and so I obviously have no desire to see anyone get hurt. Even if I didn't have relatives there, I wouldn't want anyone to be put in harm's way. But with the large influx of radical Muslims and their ideology of how Europeans should change their lifestyles and the threats and all the things that have been done, the crimes against you guys, the large amounts of physical confrontations and fighting and home invasions and rape that the Muslims have done since they've been, infiltrating the European landscape is just horrendous. You mix that in with the agendas of various superpowers and NATO to push around and bully various companies like Russia. And while Russia is not an angel by any means, Russia, though, is actually being pinned down in a lot of times, especially over the last few years with these artificial low gas prices, and hurt their economy a lot. And so you can't tell me that there's not a lot of collusion going on to hurt Russia. So I just wanted to reinstate that if you live in Europe or anywhere in the world, you should be prepared for ongoing unrest. The military-industrial complex does not sleep. It needs conflicts from time to time. It needs fear to maintain control and funding for their programs. And governments need fear as well, so they can stay in power. So they can say, hey, we're here to rescue you. We're here with the answers, even though a lot of times they've created the situations. And so false flag attacks like a 9/11 that happened here in America on September 11, 2001 is just another example of the horrendous nature that governments will go to curtail freedoms and personal liberties in the name of security, and the things that they will do to manipulate the psyche of their own citizens to push their agendas. And so this should be a reminder to all of us. Europe and America has been having ongoing attacks, ongoing terrorist type of themes. I would imagine the great majority of those are false flag attacks. Real people do die in some of these attacks. They're not all staged. But at the same time, we have to be mindful, though, of what is behind these types of staging of attacks. So I wish everyone well. I don't know what else to say about this. It's very it's very confusing in a lot of ways. You get a lot of different reports about a lot of different things, and all I can say is I've been monitoring it. Just my personal perspective is I think that we're that much closer to a global economic collapse. This system is very overwhelmed, and the debt ratio is off the chart. And all they can do is just keep on printing more money out of the air, just more fiat currency. So I'm not sure how much longer that can actually be sustained. I have no clue. All I know is that there's been a lot of manipulations in commodities, and the stock prices are very, very inflated right now. They're in a big bubble. And so if you like to buy inflated equities, then now is the time. I would not recommend buying into the market now. It's at the very tippy top. So I would be diversifying your assets, getting out of the stock market for sure, and diversifying in commodities, which are actually still relatively cheap at the moment. I wish everyone well. Take care, all my European friends, and I'll talk to you soon.